Heads up, this episode contains talk of disordered eating, weight loss, and dieting. Please take care when listening, or take a detour and don't listen at all this week. We get it either way. You just ready? That's... Okay, thanks.
3.
Wait. Do we have something after this? Is someone here after this?
Do you have a 2 p.m.?
Okay.
I have to motor.
Okay.
But I'm not going to rush or anything.
I'm just asking. Okay.
Why?
I need to know my space. Okay.
Do you want to shoot reels after? Or?
No, I just have to figure out if there was someone coming right after. I needed to.
It's like the movie, and you know how long it is before we go to the theater. We're ready.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I do too. I also need, one more thing. I need to know the menu before I go to a restaurant too.
Oh, I don't need that.
Sometimes, not all the time. All right, I'm ready. For real, final answer.
3.
He's so annoyed.
2.
Welcome to Detour Guides. We're your guides and hosts, Tory and
Allie.
Yeah, we're 2 chicks navigating life's detours while sipping on candor and cocktails. If you hear any dog whining, it's because we have a gorgeous pup here, Luna, who's also interested in this conversation. So welcome, Luna, to the conversation. I am Tory, a TV personality and content creator on the hunt for my next job while processing some grief at the moment. My mom's passing, my dog dying. So that's where I am at the moment. Allie, where are you?
I'm Allie. I'm a TV producer and writer working on a career pivot so I can make my move abroad dreams a reality, which just so happens to not be today's detour.
No, it doesn't. Good catch on that. So on today's detour, we are going to weigh in, no pun intended, on the body conversation, okay? So it's going to be weight loss, diets, Ozempic, etc., our personal stories, okay? We're going there and nothing is off the table, pun intended about the table.
I like the way one better.
Thanks.
I like the way one way better.
Oh, good one.
Sorry.
That's great. But before we get there, Allie went on a silly date. Ooh, hello. And Tory is not a G, a 1099 G.
Who do you think wrote that? Raise your hand if you think it was Tory. Raise your hand if you think it was Allie.
Tax jokes land in your area. That was really good.
Was yesterday tax day or 2 days ago tax day?
I don't know, but
Who
it was.
Who gives a shit?
It went down to midnight for T-Dog over here.
I can't believe you do. First of all, hi.
Hi, good to see you. Wait, keep your
you
arms and legs inside the vehicle. Remember, it's often the detour that can define you. And enjoy.
We basically took a detour from the opening of our detour.
That's right. Welcome to tourists. So, hi, how are you? I just have to say,
Good.
tax day was not great.
I can't believe you do your own taxes. You don't hire someone to do it. Why?
No, and I have a Schedule C and a 1099 and an LLC, and I'm really good.
You have every reason to hire someone.
I've done it all my life, and I've done extremely well. Now,
Okay.
I could be completely committing tax fraud.
Let's say that
I've done
publicly
really
and
well
put it
for
on
myself.
YouTube. Okay.
But yeah, I itemized. I do deductions.
Period.
That was the end of my story.
All right, cool.
Sorry.
Well, welcome back, detourists. Hi.
Welcome back.
We're on one, and we didn't take anything. She might have taken a shot of vodka. I'm fine. I'm just under the gun with work right now. That's all.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful to have a job. Let me tell you.
Amen.
For another week anyway.
Amen.
Yeah.
Glimmers,
anyway,
not triggers.
Let's do Rosebud Thorn. But today we're switching gears and starting with Thorn. So something crappy, something we're looking forward to, and something good. This isn't an attempt to not bring Tory down and start with the bad news first.
And not put drinking with bad news.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Because I drink to that comes right after.
So it's not like you're drinking to the thorn, you're drinking
right.
to the rose.
Correct.
We're still drinking.
Yeah, but better.
Okay, cool. Why don't you go first, because ladies first.
Okay, I can't find my 1099-G
This is another reason you should not do your own taxes.
from my unemployment, and I can't click on the link, and I don't know what it is, and I don't like taxes, and I don't understand money.
Okay, your 1099, according to what I know,
I know
have
what
a
it is.
1099.
I know what it is.
Okay.
I'm just saying I can't find mine, and I have to grab it, and I have to do it, and I just wish I could skip over this whole thing. And I don't go where my tax is going. Every federal thing is being cut anyway. I'm just really annoyed by taxes. That's it. That's annoying. That's it.
That's your thorn.
I'm really thorny about it.
Okay. Can I ask one question?
What?
Wait, okay, maybe not.
Let's move on. Sorry. I just get real salty about it because it's purposefully so difficult.
No, they do make it difficult.
They asked
on
me my
purpose.
tax liability. What is that? Is that how much I owe? Is that my income?
For your birthday.
Don't say that.
For your birthday. Do you know what I'm getting you?
I'm going to drink more.
An accountant. I'm not kidding. I will pay for your accountant services.
Do you know
for
what
your
that
birthday.
turns me on?
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. Stop looking at me like that.
Sorry.
Um,
Sorry.
Okay, so are you done? You can keep
That's
going.
my thorn. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm drinking. I'm annoyed by everything about it. Why do you have to make it so complicated? Why do you have to make it so we feel
said she was
stupid?
done.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. This is going to be very quick. I'm going to be completely raw and real, and I think I've said this before. I haven't been on a date here in like a formal date.
I'm dying to hear this.
Don't get excited. This isn't that great. I haven't
Okay.
been on a formal date in, you just woke up, Luna, in a while.
I'm sorry, Baba.
So when a girlfriend of mine wanted to set me up with her fiance's friend,
Which is so nice.
Hi.
I'm
It's
sorry.
like an
Luna.
albino Jack. I had no reason to say no. Oh, okay. I wanted to say no, but I was like, you know what? You bitch about your dating life.
Right.
You need the practice.
That's right.
Because you've forgotten what it's like. So just say yes and go.
And it's a muscle. Dating is a muscle. You have to
Agreed.
practice it.
So I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have a good time no matter what. If it goes well, great. And if it doesn't, I'm still gonna have a good time and I'm gonna like flex the muscle. And so we get there. He's not my type.
Okay.
But he's a good looking guy.
He's a good looking guy.
And he's a catch.
And he's a catch.
He's a doctor.
Oy,
And he's Jewish.
Oy, oy, oy,
Yeah.
oy, oy.
So
If you don't know, a Jewish doctor is like the gold mine for every Jewish grandmother out there or
Yeah.
mother. Okay,
which is
go
why I
ahead.
didn't tell mine. So we have a nice time. It's like 2 hours. It was like about 2 hours, and then I was like, okay, let's end this date because it was time. Like, you know when you just feel like it's time. You know when a movie's like 30 minutes too long, and you're like, that could have ended. Okay, so that's where we're at. I'm like, let's quit while we're ahead. It's been really nice. I was drinking a ton of water, and I had to pee. So I go to pee, and I was like to myself, I said, if he's not smart, if he knows what he's doing, he will pay while I'm in the bathroom.
Good call. Good.
Okay.
That's a great move. Very smooth.
I think so. And
Very smooth.
Fun fact, the bartender, we're friendly.
Okay.
So she knew, and she's watching this whole thing.
She's
so
watching.
as I go to the bathroom, she gives him the bill.
Oh,
'Cause she's
great.
Awesome.
We're choreographed. What
Yeah.
happens?
What do you think happens?
He doesn't pull out his credit card. Do you split the bill?
Yeah. Now, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm really not trying to be dramatic with this, okay? But this is a person in their 40s.
Who's a doctor?
And put that aside, I am a
Wait,
very...
tell me how did this
I'm not a conventional woman, except when it comes to this, I do expect the man to pay on the first date.
Or-
Is that crazy? Is that crazy? So I get back and I see the bill sitting there and I know it hasn't been paid. So I'm also like, uh-oh, he didn't pay the bill, fine. And I'm like, getting a little anxious.
Get
like
out
I'm
here.
getting in my voice. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I had told myself from like a year ago, I was like, I'm not going to do the reach anymore because the ship has sailed. I'm 38 years old. We know what we're doing here. What are you laughing?
His story's so funny. Okay.
We know what we're doing here.
So you don't do the
So-
reach.
But then I did because the guilt. See, here's the thing. Jewish guilt, you can't fight it. And so, but here's what I did. I'm going to reenact it.
Okay. Hey, and I'm Dr. Rob.
Here's the bar.
Okay.
And then I go, and we're talking. I like to talk while we do it. Okay.
Oh
And
my
so we go like this. And he like watches me, and then he puts his card, and I put mine, and I'm ready for him to be like, no, and he just slides it. And I was like,
He didn't say anything?
not a thing.
Oh my God. At this point, let me just say, guys, if you have any game or girls, at least reach and say don't. Like, just don't. That's so lame.
This brings up a conversation before we get into it. Oh. Where you fall with because here's where I'm at. When I'm dating someone, I don't expect them to get everything.
Not at all.
Absolutely not.
Oh, I love paying.
I do too.
Oh, I love paying.
I'm
super generous.
I'm very generous as
Oh,
well.
I love it. I don't believe in the female but male, but the main thing is first date.
That's all it is
That
for
impression
me.
is not cool. I'm
If
sorry.
if they keep doing it, that's lovely.
I'm a
But I
hardcore-
will
right.
also say, can you let me treat, please?
Right. I'm a feminist hard to the bone,
Except for the first date.
except for that first date.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't even get into Rose and...
No, you're at your bud.
Okay.
Okay, my bud is super easy and quick. I'm redoing.
Your turn.
I'm doing a room in my house. I'm redoing a room. I'm looking forward to it.
What room? The people want to know.
My getting ready room, and I'm gonna make it more like I can do get
like a
ready.
dressing room?
Yeah, I'm getting readies with me and all that.
I will
I'm
say
redoing the whole thing.
It's a step up from your one at DVL that you created in the corner where it was just like a mirror.
It was-
You can look on her social media. There was just like a mirror and a corner, and she would like squeeze herself in and get ready, and she would shoot there. This is a much better situation.
It is, and I'm going to be redoing it, maybe with Lauren Mack, who I love from the Design Network.
I think I've heard of her.
So she did my backyard, and I can't stand it. So we're redoing
Okay.
the room.
Cool. Well, that's exciting.
That's my bud.
I'm just looking forward to the final season of You premiering next week.
Say it slower so people can hear you.
I know. My dad says I talk way too fast.
No, but
in this
it's very
thing.
exciting.
Okay. I'm really excited about the You premiere. The final season of You premieres next Friday, I think
That's right.
it is. It's the day we're going to that movie, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah. My agent called and asked if I had a group of girls that wants to get martinis and see Another Simple Favor. And you know why? Because Blake Lively's in it and no one's going to see her movie.
And we're going for free 99. We're very excited. So yeah, You premieres. It's the final season. I love crazy men shows. I love it. I love crazy women shows.
I do
but
too.
It's nice to see a man that's just a complete sociopath.
And
just
he's very hot for some reason.
Penn Badgley for
Yeah.
some reason. Yeah, he is. He's from
very-
Gossip Girl.
Yeah, he's very cute. Okay, what's your rose?
Oh, I finally hired an immigration attorney.
Oh, mazel.
Yeah, I'd rather spend my money on that than on a first date. And I spent a lot of money on that. Let me tell you, I spent a pretty penny on that, but worth everything. I'm so excited.
I'm so happy for you.
It's a great company. It came highly referred, and they'll get me everything to get over there except Social Security, which is not required.
Unbelievable.
Thanks.
Little steps should be applauded. Cheers.
Thanks. Cheers. Wait, do yours, and then we'll say what's in these
Oh,
cups.
my rose was I got to have Passover with my family. I have a really small family, and we did Seder. I don't know if you guys know it, but it's the story of Passover.
A bunch of Gentiles watching this show.
Yeah, and we have to go find the Afikoman. Anyway, I had a good talk with my aunt. When your mom dies, you get really close with her sister because she
If she has one.
or brother, because she looks and sounds the closest to that person than anyone on earth. So Aunt Barbara became like my person, and it was lovely. So I had a really
This
good
was
time.
over this trip that she became your person, or throughout your mom's
throughout my
passing?
life. I'm turning into Aunt Barbara.
And you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, another time. Cheers.
Cheers.
So this is time for I'll Drink to That. Cheers to the start of our tour. We are talking, as we said, about body talk. And what better thing to drink than something that's like 0 calories?
Yeah, we thought we'd go with the diet culture. This is kind of a satire, by the way. It's just vodka and Diet Coke. Every girl in college who's a millennial drank this.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
by the way, we're not being insensitive. This is, every woman watching probably knows this, and we're getting
1,000%.
into serious stuff here, but we had to make light. We have to make light of this.
So this is part of the diet culture.
I haven't had this since probably college, which was a long time ago.
And in this red cup, this red Solo cup,
this is a whole
It
vibe.
reminds me
the red
of-
Solo Cup's a whole thing.
depression and a lack of self-esteem.
Smells like exam papers,
And like sadness.
GPAs.
Oh my God.
And I don't give a damn.
And Tory's desperation.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll drink to that. So
cheers. It's actually
cheers.
quite good.
It's really good. By the way, it's Taylor Swift's drink.
Watch us bring. Oh, done. Watch us bring this back. 20.
Now
something
we're all
years
into
later.
it as well. All right, should we get started?
Yeah, pros from the pros, because we're not doctors or professionals. Let's talk about it.
We're getting kind of cute on this podcast here. We're going to be slightly more female centric on this only because I think society has gone that way. But I just want to give you the science on the backing of this, make it real quick. You guys don't have to listen to a ton of this. But I do want to say that, like, in America, specifically Western American societies, ideals say very specifically that like thin, lean, able-bodied women and men equals more success.
Thin has always been in.
Yeah, thin has
in these
always
societies.
been in. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that that's sort of, we all know that, but I wanted to give that sort of scientifically.
Yeah.
It equals a better social status, better self-control, more virtue. And what this has led to is a $70 billion industry of weight loss, which doesn't help very much because according to, it said Man et al. I don't know what that
As in men?
No, like a scientist named Man. So I'm giving
Oh,
you like,
I'm sorry.
yeah, so
The
that's
plural
that
of
too.
man
Right,
is
right,
men.
right. 80 to 90% of diets fail within the first 1 to 5 years. So
Oh, yeah.
not a high rate of success, but it's led to a $70 billion industry. So not a lot. And scientifically, that's led to a lot of like psychological warfare, especially for women with, let's say, eating disorders. And we want to be sensitive, of course, to that. Low self-esteem. Right here, and or body dissatisfaction. So this becomes what I've called the body cycle, which is what scientifically we've led to this. It becomes this never-ending cycle. You feel bad about yourself, therefore you diet. As I said before, the diet doesn't work, therefore you feel bad about yourself. So you see how you're just like running in a circle and running in a circle like you failed. And it goes on and on and on, and it doesn't take a hard, long look of like what's actually healthy for you.
Like under the surface, you mean? Like, how do I say this? It's you're trying to fix something, not figuring out where it's coming from, or am I overthinking this?
Or you're fixing something that maybe doesn't need to be
fixed
in that way. But like the science is that cycle of like trying really hard, failing, feeling bad, trying again, never really works specifically
No,
well.
and what do they
it's
say-
aimed at you being in that cycle.
Don't they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, and this is what this is?
Very much so.
Right.
Very,
So
very
we're
much
all
so.
insane doing this.
Yeah, and the cycle is something that I bet anyone listening right now or watching. Do I look okay? If you're watching.
I look very white.
We're back to this Caucasian problem.
No, it's not that. I mean, like
Why
anyone
can't you
watching this,
self-tan?
I'm going to start.
Okay.
We're getting off topic.
Okay, I'm sorry. So the idea is that society, specifically in the one you're listening to and you're understanding now, is that it's very hard to understand what healthy means right now in terms of science.
Yeah.
in terms
Can I
of
just
science.
say one
Please.
thing and then I'll let you?
No,
and
no,
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm gonna
really quickly. We know like this could be a topic that can go on for years, and we could not stop. But we're not like this is not an all-encompassing thing. We have an hour we try to keep these pods to, and we're going to talk about our realities and a few bullets. But we would love to hear from you guys about anything and everything relating to body talk. Also a great song by Robin. Do you know that?
Sing it a little bit.
I don't even know how. Like I just
Can
know,
you
I
sing it a
remember
little
liking
bit?
it. No, I don't.
Is it go like body talk?
I'll pull it up.
Okay.
But anyway, we just want to say, like, we know we're not including a lot. It's just with the time we have, this is where we're going. I don't know
Exactly.
if that was...
And I think the cycle, to sum it up, that cycle of like, I feel bad, then I diet, then I feel bad, sums up a lot of scientifically why we see so much of that industry saying, do better, do better, do better.
Body Talk's an album by Robin, not a song. Continue.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay.
I just
So
needed to fact check.
I appreciate that. So that's the science part of it, and especially the American version of like thinness is better and get on that diet, even though it doesn't work, feel bad, and then get back on it. That's sort of the cycle. Spiritually, Allie, do you want to go on to that?
Yes, I feel like you right now because I don't think I've ever talked about the spiritual, but it's my turn. Okay, so Judeo-Christian and Buddhist takes is that your body is a temple. I love that.
Yeah, I know. You treat your body like a temple, Allie. No, I'm serious. In this conversation, Allie is the temple, and I'm like the rave from 1998. I'm sorry.
Clip that. No. We'll get into that. We'll talk about it. But it is a temple, and we've talked about this before. You treat your body, or you should, with respect. Do we all do that? No. Are we expected to do that 24/7? No. But it is like a sacred vessel, right? I think you only get one body. That's the rumor on the street from everyone still here.
In Buddhism, you get reincarnated.
Reincarnated.
No, reincarnated.
But that means a different body.
Right, correct.
So
but
there
they
you
still
go.
believe the body is the temple.
The body is a temple.
Yeah,
Your body is a
sacred.
wonderland.
Favorite song of John Mayer.
That's-
By the way, the other songs kind of suck. Great guitarist. I hate his voice.
No, but like the Diet Coke and
Sorry.
vodka with that song is a whole memory.
And I like the acoustic version.
Yeah. They have a lot of discipline about the body, right? This is not more me than you. I'm going back to what you said. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but this is not more me than you. This is everyone. This is also with people who fast for religious holidays and things like that, not to be confused with like keto or intermittent fasting. This is religious fasting.
Yeah, or like caloric restriction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even people who do calorie restriction feel it's in a way a testament to the body and what it can do.
Yeah.
Okay. So we also have to discuss the wellness industry because I think it's safe to say that in 2025, wellness has become a bit of a religion in itself. I mean, from even before that, it became a religion in itself. Plus, we've both lived in LA. It is the religion over there, and it's hard not to be affected by it. But you have gurus, influencers, content creators creating an aura, God, talk about LA, around healthy living, and that's not a bad thing if you're factual about it. How many
Right.
of these people are spreading really bad messages, and how many young girls and other people are buying into this?
Totally.
You know, there's an influencer, she's huge. I'm not going to name her. She talks about...
Name her. I'm
I will
just
not.
kidding.
She talks about coffee enemas and water fasting and things like that. And it's dangerous to hear that from, and the people that worship the ground she walks on are doing these things. It's kind of like apple cider vinegar. Did you watch that, by the way?
I did, and I really liked it. But
It's very good.
it's all, if you ever watch one episode of DBL, you know that my one nemesis is one Miss Gwyneth Paltrow. Not because she's not a great actress, and I think her hair is super cute.
Is it because she named her kid Apple?
I actually like that.
Okay.
And I like Moses. Fuck it. Do it. I don't care. But you know what I hate? The
Goop?
Yeah.
The vagina candle?
Yeah, and the vagina egg, the jade egg that you're supposed to stick in your
vagina?
Yeah, vagina, and it like caused severe problems, and she got sued. So it's like those content gurus that make me furious when they're not real.
Yeah.
But there is a wellness of spirituality of like the cold plunge, the saunas, like that stuff is quite popular in the Nordic regions, and it's quite healthy.
And here's the thing. If it helps you and it's not harming you, great. That's how I am with woo-woo stuff. If you are doing things that help your brain, whether it's by placebo or actually helping you, do it. But everyone is different, you know? Green juices, like you said, cold plunges, saunas, like these are used in healthy ways, but it's become ritual and tradition for people and faith-based systems, which has transformed the spiritual lives of many people, right? So I don't know. I hope this is all making sense because we're trying to basically distinguish between the religious part of taking care of your body and like the spiritual part with the wellness industry and often the toxic media we are exposed to. Is that's
a
good
beautiful
way
of saying that?
Okay, so it's like church and state, really.
That's a beautiful way of saying that. Try and be discerning, I think is what we're saying, between the spiritual aspect of it.
And when we talk about the professionals, pros from the pros, it's not to say every religious spiritual guide is professional and all the influencers aren't. I follow plenty of women that are really healthy mindset, healthy body. I love their content.
Totally.
And then there's others where I'm like Danger Will Robinson and I mute them or block them or unfollow them because it's dangerous. And it makes me nuts that these little girls often are on social media ingesting this content. It's going to affect them because you and I are about to talk about how this has affected us growing up.
Yeah, we're about to get into our personal thoughts about this, and I'm about to be real open about some shit that I tried. But I do want to also say, I'm also like, I don't know, yeah, I don't know. If you're also an angry person about food and eating and the industry, like it also turns me off. I just need realness, I need wellness, and I need something that is good for my soul.
I know, if only we could curate everything like this and just throw out the imposters.
Yeah, I know.
And bring in the spiritual and fact-based people.
Well, you can if you can curate your own feed. It's so important.
It's hard. They also like... I'm getting too in the weeds. All right, I'm sorry. And now for the unprofessionals. Let's go with you first.
All right, let's cheers first.
All right,
it's
cheers.
Be a pretty weird conversation. And again, hold on.
How many calories do you think this is? Do you know?
Does it matter?
Yeah. Never mind. I'm very passionate about this topic, and I think I'm getting a little like my nerves are getting to me here. If I'm being really honest.
You know what? It's a nervous topic.
Because I can just hear my dad being like, this wasn't your best episode. Well, but the truth is, this is something that hits home for us. So we're going to get a little, I don't know the word.
I think the best podcast episodes are the ones that are honest. And if you're honestly nervous, I'd rather you say that out loud and tell the audience, because Joyce from Iowa is listening and would rather hear that than,
hi, Joyce.
Let's talk about something in a really hosty way or angry way, or we're just talking. And I think it's okay to be nervous and uncomfortable about an uncomfortable topic. That's normal.
I like that.
I think that's what podcasts should be.
All right. It's all downhill from here.
I don't know how to host where I'm fake. I just don't know how to do it.
And I don't know how to host, period. So, all right, go ahead. Let's hear it from you, because I know you're about to get raw.
Okay, so I know many of you are not going to believe this, but until like 2007, I was like really athletic.
It's not that I don't believe it. I just don't know that version of you. That's all.
So mean.
Well, I don't. Do you know the version of me that knows how to dress? Don't say yes. The answer is no.
No, I do know. You look fantastic. But I will say this. So I won like every award. I won the President George H.W. Bush Presidential Physicality Award. I could do more pull-ups than the boys. I won discipline, physicality.
Damn, you did
camp.
More pull-ups than the boys?
Like, you don't understand.
Go off, queen. I love that.
I looked almost like one of those like kids that was like working out too much.
On roids?
Yeah, like I was so athletic, and I was varsity lacrosse, and I was varsity I was softball.
Wow, we were different people.
But I was just like, I was a really thin person, okay?
Okay.
And I wasn't like, I didn't have time to eat. I was doing theater, and I was doing this, and I was trying to have a boyfriend and whatever. I was a busy person, and I was stimulated, and I was happy. And then like, just age and all that kind of catches up with you. So we're in 2007. I moved to Los Angeles.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
And like, your whole mind changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was always like, it was just tough. It was just a little bit different. And I had to work out like a little bit harder. And as this started to happen, I started to feel less and less. The word I came up with is worthy. Just so, I'm so sure that hit hard for so many women and men, but like so much less worthy. And I came up in the generation of like Diet Coke, Snack Wells, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like
Dunkaroos.
Olestra. Like, yeah.
Oh my
like,
God.
It wasn't like the Gen Zers have the great concept of health. And I just didn't grow up with that. So
You just unlocked a core memory when you said Snack Walls.
Snack
I'm
Walls
sorry.
was everything.
Green box cookie,
Totally.
soft, chewy texture.
No
size,
flavor.
Two size for scale.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it was cardboard. I mean,
Oh.
it tasted like ass.
And of course, I loved it.
We'd all eat so much of it because you're like, this works. And then we'd all be sick as dogs. So I just want to say, I also was in a visual medium. I chose to be on stage and on camera. I don't feel happy unless I'm on camera. I chose a culture, and Instagram came along around that time, which is all visual medium. So it all came at me at once, right? And so I will look at the camera now and tell Allie and be super honest, like she said, that like I don't 1,000% feel worthy sitting here right now. And I don't feel that I like how I look 1,000% right now at all. And I tried, this is where I was like, here we go. I went and tried Ozempic. Okay. Allie's really mad at me. And it didn't go so well. And I think I did like generic compound, like I wasn't on the right name.
Was it
brand.
called Ozempic? The hell did you take?
It was kind of like Hep bound. It just like wasn't good. Anyway, I got incredibly sick and I missed like 9 days and I couldn't even look at eating. And I just wanted to let you know that like, even though I went through all that, I still think about trying it again. So I'm here as a representative of the people in the middle who are trying to get off the cycle and who aren't. So I am not bullshitting you. I'm not someone who's like, I feel great about myself. I feel super good about myself. I don't care what weight I am. I do care. I care and I hate it. And I also am trying to change. So there's Tory's personal thoughts. Allie?
Wow. How am I supposed to follow that? First of all,
just be honest. I just raw honesty.
No, yeah. I mean, listen, this is like, we like to laugh here. We like to poke fun at each other. I can imagine you athletic, I promise.
I was so athletic. I was a gymnast.
That I did know. I just forgot. But
a lot of people question that online.
No, I believe it all. But I mean, I know we joke, but it is a lot to put yourself out there like this. So I'm not getting emotional. I really need to burp and it's not coming out because that's the thing about soda.
Can we clip that?
I'm not getting verklempt. I just need to expose gas out of my mouth. I really do. It's like hold on. No, it's not coming. It's like a sneeze. It's like past, but it's still there. Do you know what I mean?
Do you want to know something? I was taught that an orgasm is very much like a sneeze.
They say it's 1/8 of a sneeze. I mean,
I heard
no,
that you're
a
like
sneeze is 1/8 of an orgasm.
Like you get like really. Like,
I knew this too, or I've heard this. Do you think that's true?
Well, my sex ed teacher taught me this, and
Really?
I've never. Yeah, and our 8th grade class laughed so hard, but I've never.
Well, because no one had an orgasm. Then like, okay, Mrs.
Right.
Philip.
Her name was Barbara Cox. It wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
But it was like, you know, like
the woman who told you a sneeze is part of an orgasm's last name was Cox.
Yeah, and we called her. Yeah, but she's anyway. I always was taught an orgasm is like a sneeze.
Oh my God. No, I did hear that. I don't know if that's true, and I'm not going to Google it right now or
Okay.
ask ChatGPT, but I believe it because of the
I think it is.
it's the feeling you get. Like
I feel like this
sneezes feel so good, don't they?
Sneezes are a huge relief.
I love to sneeze.
I love to sneeze, and
I love to burp. I just wish I could. Okay, anyway. Okay,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. All right, so
my computer died.
let me see if I can let me see if I can get back to this.
Okay.
All right.
Tell me about your personal thoughts.
Obviously, this hits a nerve for me too. I'm glad we're doing it. I have a very vivid first memory of disliking my body. Very vivid. And it makes me want to like hug that version of me because it's so sad.
Allie. So you weren't as athletic as I was in 2000.
Here's the thing. It should come to surprise. No one's surprised that I was a theater kid from the word go. I did go through a phase about 12 where I thought I was athletic. And I was just not. I tried every sport. My parents were trying to be supportive, but they looked at each other like, she sucks. And she needs to recognize that. My sister was like very prissy, prima donna, owned it. I was like, I'm athletic. I would wear like the bandanas. And I thought I was like, I had a tomboy phase, essentially. I was just not athletic. Anyway, I took dance classes, as like so many parents do. They put their little girls in like tap dance classes. And we had a recital. And I actually wrote an essay on this. Should I link it in the show notes?
Link it in the
I'll
show
link
notes.
it in the show notes. And it was a very tight leotard with a stupid hat, but forget the hat. And I was not the thinnest kid. And I wore this leotard and I looked around and everyone was all skinny minis and I was the heavy kid.
Allie.
With a bowl haircut. So I looked like a tiny little
Thumb.
7-year-old thumb. I did. Anyway, it was like I was never the kid with the fast metabolism. I was always the one that, like, I've always loved food. I still love food, but it caught up with, it never had to catch up with me. It was already there. Do you know what I mean? Like, all my friends were like thin, and I was in like the popular group, but I was the heavy kid in the popular group. Yeah. And
I don't even like know that Allie.
Well, believe it, because the
So
photos
when did
don't
you
lie.
become like?
So here's the thing. When coming up on my bat mitzvah, I'd heard of Weight Watchers. Now, mind you, I was 12.
You were 12 years old.
And I asked my mom if I could go to a Weight Watchers meeting.
At 12?
12 and a half, because I was about to be a woman and be a bat mitzvah. But anyway, I went, and my mom said, she was very good. She was like, if this gets out of control, I'm a very like steadfast kid. I was like, I want to do it. I'm going to do it. And my mom's like, I'm obviously have to go with you. And if this gets out of control, we're not doing it anymore. And because I'm so type A and structured, like that point system back in the 90s was like perfect for me.
Okay.
And I did the system. I was a good girl. I lost weight. And even then, we'll show another photo. I looked like a potato at my bat mitzvah. I promise. Because I didn't hit puberty till I was like 18.
You do look like you have beautiful curves now.
Thank you. But you have to this is not me like looking for this is just what was. And so Weight Watchers was always kind of like ingrained in me, and body image followed me. And I did that. It was a phase. And then fast forward to college, I was a theater major, in front of, on stage and things like that. And I went back on Weight Watchers. And have you heard of orthorexia?
What's orthorexia?
It's basically
something, let me guess, something with bones?
It's basically an obsession with healthy eating with restrictive behaviors. So I never stopped eating.
So you were more into calorie restrictions.
A piece of gum, I would count it. It got really out of control. Yeah. But I never stopped eating.
I had like 4 pieces of gum on the way.
That'll cost you. Yeah. So it was hard. It was really hard. To this day, back in college, people were like, you look too thin. You're like this and that. You're not healthy. I never saw it. I could look back on pictures now. I did not see it. I do not see it.
So a little dysmorphia.
I guess so. But if enough people are telling you something, maybe it's true.
A little dysmorphia.
Yeah. And I was over-exercising. It was all about skinny, thin is worthy, etc. And luckily, like, thank God, like a lot of people don't get out of that. And I got out of it, which is, I'm one of the lucky ones, because we know how it can end for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then...
How did you get out of it?
I really couldn't even tell you.
What age?
I would say probably around like 23, 24.
You just got out of it.
It like I eased out of it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess like my love of my life, and it wasn't worth, like, even though, like, people say how thin they were, but they weren't happy. That was probably what it was.
Okay.
And I then found, luckily, a fitness community that focused on strength, fueling your body, things like that. And that's when I got into working out, lifting heavy, and doing what I do now.
Because if you guys have never seen Allie and you've just heard our voices, she's like the fit one.
I don't know. That's very nice, but...
And I'm like... the cozy one?
I think we give and take with that, but that's neither here nor there.
You know what your dad always called me?
What?
The relatable one.
That's a compliment.
I agree. I would use that for everything it was
Coming
worth.
from my father, that's an even bigger compliment.
1,000%. Allie, thank you for talking about that.
Yeah, so that was my journey. Another thing, my father hates the word journey. But yeah, and like, you'll agree, this always follows you. This never goes away completely. I have my moments. You have your moments. We all have our moments. But all we can do is just try to like focus on loving who we are. This sounds so freaking cliche, but like, there is no perfect body. There's no perfect body. And I love that we're not there, not even close, but we're getting more size inclusive. We're getting more everybody's beautiful.
This new generation, I'm very happy with.
Yeah. Now, there are dangers to that. You know, there are people who, you know, take that too far, and then they're medically unhealthy, and that's worrisome.
Right.
And I don't want to get too far in the weeds with that because we're not doctors or professionals, but it can be a slippery slope if we celebrate everything and then it's like, well, you're on the verge of diabetes.
I do have to say, just to add to that,
Yeah.
like my family has really, really worked very well with Ozempic and Mounjaro and all that because they were on the verge of diabetes and like have done extremely well. So I didn't mean to put down. A lot of people have a thing against Ozempic and Mounjaro. I'm trying not to say one or the other.
No, and
but
to
it
your
has
point,
really helped my family.
I don't put down
really
Ozempic.
Helped.
I don't put down Mounjaro. I don't put down anything that is done for the right reasons.
Yeah, I agree. With the right intentions.
Even if you want to use it to lose weight, some people need surgery. Some people need XYZ. When you did it, I was mad because I was like, you're going to the easy route when you don't need to.
Right.
And we were just supposed to sign you up for a trial at the gym, and then you took the Ozempic route. That's when I got mad at you.
Well, yes, that's very fair.
You know, but no,
very
we're
fair.
not against any of these things. Everyone makes their own decisions, and everyone's entitled to feel the way they feel about everything.
Yeah, I don't want to
And
put
hopefully that comes across that way.
Right. And I know that this might seem wishy-washy, but this podcast is not to be for or against. It's to be just giving you info. Giving you info.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And on our stories.
And our stories. That's exactly right. So I did want to talk about this detours talk, and I found some really
let's
cool.
hear from some of these detours. We've talked enough.
Yeah, and I really love this one quote from Sheologian, who's someone I found on Reddit. And this is what she wrote. You ready for the story? It says, I remember when my gender studies professor in undergrad said, regarding the cyclical nature of thinness being on vogue, you can't fight if you're underfed. And then she asked, who really benefits from you taking up less space? Then she said, this class session changed my life completely.
We're going to put that in the show notes too. That's good because I won't remember it, but I loved it.
Who benefits from you taking up less space?
Including yourself. No one benefits.
That's a brilliant way of saying that. And I love gender studies when they change your mind completely.
Me too.
It's a brilliant. Wait,
Who is that? Sheo Logan?
Sheologian is her
Sheologian.
hashtag name. So I
Okay.
just wanted to find that. The next one was, you weren't born hating your body. You were taught to hate it. And I thought that's really important to understand too. And finally, if tomorrow women woke up and decided to really like their bodies no matter what, just think of how many industries would go out of business immediately.
Period. The end. Can you imagine? Also, imagine what women would be capable of if they just got over that. I mean, please,
Such
it would
an
be insane.
annoying piece of inefficiency and
I know. And
what's
it's
the
like,
word?
it's such a waste of brain space too, but
It's
you
just a
can't
waste.
get over it.
Right.
It's-
So we're acknowledging it. We're being aware of it. We're telling our stories, and we're hoping to have a conversation about it. That's what this podcast is all about.
Yeah, it might be a bit of an unhinged, all over the place detour of a conversation.
Okay.
All right, so let's get into some detour souvenirs because everyone loves swag. What are we giving away?
We're giving away a cookbook by Ellie Krieger that I love called The Food You Crave, Luscious Recipes for a Healthy Life.
Okay.
So this is someone who is eating healthy, but it's like Tory healthy, like when you're hungry.
Like
and you
fun
want-
recipes that
Yeah,
are not
like
like cucumber boats.
Oh my God, the lettuce wraps on everything, guys.
We love P.F. Chang's. F lettuce wraps.
Stop with the lettuce
Put it
wraps.
on a goddamn
Just
tortilla.
Stop with the Just give
I'm with
us
you.
the flour.
That's it.
So that's what you're getting. The Food You Crave is the only change you need to eat the way you need to eat and the way you feel. So it's really great. 200 recipes and beautiful pictures. So
Okay, cool. So someone's going to win that. We're switching up the giveaway now. We're not going live anymore. I just personally am not, I'm not good at it.
you are good.
Although I'm not sure I'm good at podcasting after today. I don't enjoy, I think it's better. You had a great idea. We're going to put it on our stories. We're going to tag that person and they will see it or they won't, and we'll reach out to them and, you know, all that. So anyway, all of this boils down to you still need to follow our podcast at Detour Guides Pod to be entered. That's it. We're not doing any other like follow this person and write a comment and tag your friend. No, just follow the podcast and we will announce it next Wednesday.
That's correct.
What? Did you burp? I'm
no,
jealous.
I just had a
Oh.
weird sound in my voice.
Oh,
That's correct.
okay. You had a Peter Brady moment.
I did.
That's what you had.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so we'll announce the winner on Instagram stories this Wednesday.
There you go.
All right, let's get into some recs. We love them and we don't believe in gatekeeping. This rec is an old rec, but I've never said it on the pod. It's just not a new product.
Okay.
So my favorite book, period, my favorite book of all time.
You've talked about this a lot.
I've gifted it to so many of my girlfriends. I think one holiday I gave away I sent copies to each of my girlfriends, and they read it and they loved it. It's a cult following book. It's called The Idea of You by Robin Lee. I'll say what it's about. It's going to sound so stupid, but you have to trust me. I know I'm not a doctor or professional, but I'm really good with book taste. And this is my favorite book. It's called The Idea of You again. It is about, and a woman who just turned 40, divorced, has a kid, and she's ready to start living life for herself. And she takes her kid to a concert that the band is kind of like the equivalent of One Direction, and she meets the lead boy band guy, and they have a romance. It is a bit of
Wait, is this the shitty movie you made me watch?
Okay, yes, but it was a book before it was a movie, and it's very different than the movie. Okay. So I don't even want you to think about the movie. In fact, if you've seen the movie, I'm pissed because the book is so good.
I like when books are better.
They start what we would call a taboo 20-year age difference romance. Now, if a man dated a woman 20 years younger, they do it all the time. Big deal.
A man can date a woman younger, but a woman can't date a man younger.
I mean, that's the taboo of it all. And
do you think that's changing?
Slowly. But this book, you have to just trust me. It's not frothy. It's really good. It'll kind of rip out your insides in the best way, and I love it. So again, The Idea of You by Robin Lee. We'll link it in the show notes. It is my ride or die book. I mean, it's the only book I've reread, and I'm a big reader. So that's really my rec. What is your rec?
My rec is a podcast. I don't want you to not recommend this.
Oh my God, competent.
No, I know, but it's called Where Should We Begin, and it's one therapy session.
Esther Perel.
It sure is.
It's so good.
So anyway, you get to listen in on one podcast of one therapy session of one person, and the woman who is the therapist is this Belgian sex therapist and family therapist and relationship expert. She's been on Oprah. She's like a big thing. Her name is Esther Perel, and she is a Belgian accent.
She's a
and
queen.
She sort of talks like this, and she's very good looking, but the things she says are remarkably helpful.
Do you know what I love is she normalizes the conversation about the gray area of relationships.
She does.
I would be surprised if she had an episode about age gap romances.
She has age gap romances. She has E&M. She has polyamory. She has a book called Mating in Captivity, and it's all about affairs and what happens.
We've quoted her.
Yeah, so I highly recommend her. Her new season's coming out, but again, it's called Where Should We Begin? And I just cannot get enough. So I just walked Sloan's Lake before coming here, and I listened to an episode, and the woman she compared herself to like her mom, and at the end she was like, "But who's your mother now?" And I was like,
"Oh, and if she didn't have the accent, it wouldn't hit like it does."
It really,
but she is a professional.
Yeah, so I highly recommend that.
Nice. Okay, these are good recs.
Thank you.
You can read The Idea of You, have it change your life, and then go for a walk and listen to Esther Perel's Where Should We Begin? And you've got yourself a good couple hours of just
really good stimulation.
Feminism.
And then listen to us.
Good Lord. All right, so I think we're coming to the end of our detour, so should we recap?
Yeah, let's recap. So just so you guys know, scientifically, in America specifically, it is that we are thought that thinness is worthiness, and we are trying to at least be aware of that on this podcast, discuss it openly. We do know that diets fail 80 to 90% of the time with 1 to 5 years. So find something that's just normal for you. I'm doing a lot of walking, a lot of yoga, and be careful when you're in that wellness industry of Instagram, because it can be a bit of I don't want to say, is it MLM? What's the thing you call it?
No.
You know, when it's like a pyramid
scheme?
scheme? Yeah. So just be careful. But some of those things are really, really useful. But just use your discerning mind when you think about that.
Absolutely.
And then spiritually, Allie, you want to take it?
Yeah. As we know, caloric restriction and fasting and wellness in general is a positive new trend. It can be very positive, but taken with discretion, right? And remember, I think the one thing with the spiritual aspect is this: your body is a temple most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Treat it as such, but also people in temple also like to party. So 80-20 rule, you are what you do 80% of the time, 20% have fun.
Way to go, Allie.
I'm coming back right at the end of the podcast. So yes, and we would, honestly, we always love to hear from everyone. We would really love to hear from you, especially on this topic.
Yeah, because it's a squirmy topic.
It's a squirmy topic. So be sure to follow us on Instagram at Detour Guides Pod, especially to be entered for the giveaway. And our personal Instagrams, what are you?
I am Tory Schulman.
Yes, and I am at Allie Dubrow. Drop us a line at detourguidespod@gmail.com. If you have a detour you'd like us to cover, we would love to hear about it. Let us know. Subscribe on Spotify.
And let us know if you thought Allie
I was going to say subscribe on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and we're also on YouTube now.
Oh, yeah.
At
yes.
Detour Guides.
We are, and that's
But what were you
big.
going to say about me?
I'm still mad about this stupid date.
Okay, yeah, and let us know how you feel about that. And remember, it's often the detour
That can define you.